Hello, and welcome to our virtual celebration for our December 2020 graduates. I am your host. My name is Dr. Paul Reifenheiser. I am the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs here at Tompkins-Cortland Community College. Now, I should note that normally in December we don't wear our regalia, but this isn't a normal year, and I thought I'd make an exception for you. So, as your host, I get to introduce a fantastic array of speakers. However, I am also really lucky to be able to be the first person to say congratulations to our graduates. Your hard work, your dedication, and your sacrifice are about to pay off. All right, but let's get to our speakers. Tompkins-Cortland Community College is blessed to have a strong, smart, and caring leader. And I am pleased to introduce as our first speaker, our president, Dr. Orinthia Montague.
Greetings, Tompkins-Cortland December 2020 graduates. It's with distinct pleasure that I recognize your achievements this year. It has been a tumultuous year, and you all have weathered the course and stayed true to your mission of achieving your college degree. We salute you. We look forward to hearing about your accomplishments and recognizing those as you move forward and become our alumni of TC3. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. O. You may not realize it, but our president works very closely with an active and involved board of trustees, made up of constituents from our local communities who volunteer their time to help our institution and to help students. Our next speaker is the chairperson of our board of trustees, Ray Schlatter.
Hello there. I'm Ray Schlatter, and I'm chair of the board of trustees of this great college. The board is extremely pleased to join in this celebration of your graduation. This is a big deal. It is a win not only for yourselves and your family, but it's a win for the entire community. And I say this because we live in an era where increasingly there are public lies, there are false claims of fake news, there's science bashing, and in that era, it's always nice to remind ourselves from time to time that in education, there is truth. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. We know, for instance, that the world is round. We know that there is climate change. And we know, thinking people know, that in education, education provides the stepping stones for a successful life and indeed happiness. So thank you, thank you, thank you, on behalf of all of us, for moving the needle a little bit in the direction of reason and sanity. But you will have heard a lot of speeches by now, and you're going to hear a lot more. I just simply want to tell you that this is a big deal. This is your achievement. This is your day to celebrate, and you deserve to enjoy it to the hilt. So on behalf of the board, congratulations, take care, and stay healthy.
Thank you, Ray. Upon graduation, you will become a member of an exclusive club. You will be an alumnus of Tompkins-Cortland Community College, and that means something to a lot of people. So for example, the regalia that I'm wearing today is representative of one of my alma maters, and I'm proud to wear it. So today, we have one of our dynamic professors, Chris Exaver, who will lead a panel of Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. Take it away, Professor X.
Thank you all for being here today. I first of all want to congratulate you on this award. And I want to start alphabetical with asking you a few questions, but I want to introduce everyone. I'm going to start alphabetically with Suzanne Burnham. She is the Academic Outreach and Program Coordinator at the College Initiative Upstate, and she graduated from the college in 1997 in Human Services. And Chief Mike Catalano, Cortland City Police Department,
graduated in 1979 in Criminal Justice.
And Julie Niederhofer is a registered nurse at Hugo Medical Center. I'm so familiar with this. She is the Sampling Services Nurse Manager. She graduated in 2010 from the Nursing program. A couple of you are first responders. Suzanne, the work you do is so critical, and all of you are so important to all of us right now. I'm going to get a little emotional because I think this award is so prestigious myself. So thank you all for being here. And I want to jump right into some questions. I'm going to start with Julie, and you right now are so, busy. So I want to ask you, how did your experiences at TC3 help you and prepare you for your career?
I really need to give a lot of the credit to my instructors. Being a part of the nursing program, you do get a set group of instructors that follow you through the whole 2 years you're there. And I cannot say enough about these incredible people that helped make me the nurse I am today, and the fact that I'm still colleagues with them, and had several of my instructors come to help us with COVID testing and with this pandemic. It's amazing to have this come back full circle, and I can't give enough credit to TC3's nursing program. It's amazing.
We're so proud when we see our alum come together and volunteer and be a part of that. It's amazing. Every time I go to a nurse, I ask, where did you go to school? When they say TC3, I beam with pride. And Chief, I have to tell you, even if I get pulled over, I ask them, where did they go to school? And if they tell me TC3, even if they're writing me up, I'm still very, very proud.
Good for you.
I'm serious. Same question to you, Chief. How did your experiences at TC3 help you?
Well, I knew from an early age that police, law enforcement was something that I wanted to be involved in. And because I always wanted to be able to advocate for people who couldn't advocate for themselves. I wanted to help people who couldn't help themselves. I like the idea of the uniform. I thought of a military career before TC3, and I decided not to take that option. TC3 was close to home. And again, I came from an immigrant family to Cortland. So we didn't know how to navigate a lot of higher education at that time. And TC3 was a great option because it was close by. It was affordable, and it offered a criminal justice program, which was right down my alley, and I was interested in.
And you touch on such amazing things, because that affordability factor is still a huge part of the reason that so many folks choose TC3. I think that's so important. Suzanne, I see you're nodding your head, and I think that's really important. But before I ask you to answer this question, will you just tell us for a moment, explain the College Initiative Upstate? I think that's a really important piece of this puzzle.
Well, College Initiative Upstate is a program of OAR of Tompkins County. OAR of Tompkins County has been around 45 years in 2021, specifically serving the jail population and families of people in the Tompkins County Jail. College Initiative Upstate made its appearance as a program originally formed in New York City. They made their appearance in Tompkins County in 2016. An intern worked alongside the director of College Initiative Upstate, who started this program in the city. I came on board in 2017, and since then, the director and myself have specifically been working with judicially involved or past court involved or anybody who's ever been incarcerated, prison or jail, to engage or re-engage in higher education. It's all we do 7 days a week. The clock never stops.
And so you went into human services knowing you wanted to help others.
I did. Little did I know that this would be where I would end up, but the shoe completely fits.
Well, I am so honored and thrilled that you all chose TC3, and I'm so proud that you all have been selected for this very prestigious award. So thank you so very much. And right now we're going to toss things back to our provost, Paul Reifenheiser.
Thank you, Professor X, and our distinguished panel of alumni. Each December, we ask a faculty member to speak at our ceremony because the relationship between faculty and student is vital. This year, our speaker is Professor Kerry Curran. Kerry brings energy and passion and expertise not just into the classroom, but into everything that she does. And I am pleased to introduce her as your faculty speaker.
How do you give a graduation speech when no one is physically present? And what words could I say to you that would hold meaning in this chaotic moment in time. Nothing is as it should be, not here at TC3 or in our local and national communities. And we are heading into a dark winter, wondering if our loved ones will be safe. In my previous life, when I was a high school English teacher in the DC metro area, one of the first works my sophomores and I read in class was Dante's Inferno. My job was to teach European literature from the Middle Ages to the present, and shockingly, Dante was the best choice to get my students enthusiastically on board with me. Though Dante was writing almost 700 years earlier, my teenage students found his story very compelling. It was his opening lines that hooked him every time. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ay me, how hard a thing it is to say, what was this forest savage, rough and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear? So bitter is it, death is little more. So, to translate, Dante felt confused, lost, isolated, and totally misunderstood, unsure how to navigate some seriously savage surroundings. Did I mention he had an unrequited love? You can see why my sophomores ate this up. Dante felt the same way they were feeling as they navigated adolescence and the halls of high school. He was just like them. As their teacher, though, that opening wasn't my favorite. The part I loved came soon after that. The writer, Dante, modeled his tale after the works of his own favorite writer, Virgil. So in the story, Dante literally has Virgil show up as a character in these dark woods to help him. Virgil tells the character, Dante, that they cannot avoid the dangerous path ahead. Virgil has no power to change Dante's current fate. But what he can do is walk with him through all of it, his poetic voice providing solace and companionship. Dante writes about the moment in this way. Responded he when he beheld me weeping, if from this savage place thou wouldest escape, I think and judge it for thy best thou follow me, and I will be thy guide and lead thee hence through the eternal place. And then he moved on, and I behind him followed. As I looked out at my sophomores from the front of the class, year after year, I knew there would be many trials and tribulations ahead of them. I could not change that. But I could give them poets and playwrights, companions from our past who could whisper in their ears, I have suffered too. Sometimes I survived. Sometimes I even came through it stronger. You are not alone. When I had the great fortune to visit Dante's family home in Florence, there was a place inside to buy illustrated prints of the different parts of his work. I chose these verses when Virgil walks through with his literary student and hung the framed print next to my desk. Years later, that is still the print that hangs closest to where I work at my desk at TC3, an artifact of my past. Or so I thought. When the spring 2020 semester arrived and the pandemic rapidly descended and separated us from each other, my dear TC3 students, Dante leapt to mind again. Dante lived in a time that was devastatingly divided politically, and his city sent him into exile, unexpectedly separating him from every person and place he loved on pain of death. Sound familiar? The more things change, the more things stay the same. But by God, here you are, December graduates, having walked an educational path few have ever experienced. And I bet sometimes it felt like hell. But as one of your educators, I have to thank you so much. So many of you decided to walk with us in solidarity and find a way through the forest, often leading the way for your teachers. I might know a lot about Dante and Shakespeare and thesis statements, but before March, I had never Zoomed, and I barely had a Blackboard page. However, many of you graduating today helped us all find new ways to connect, to walk together through the pandemic inferno. I remember when a student in my academic writing class, on what would turn out to be our last in-person day together in March, took over the last 20 minutes of class to set me and the rest of our class up on Discord before we separated. 2 weeks later, everyone showed up on that gaming platform, ready to offer comfort, ask questions, and work together to figure out the best way for us to finish our learning goals. Another student, suddenly stuck at home with her school-age children without a laptop, used her phone to email and finally FaceTime me so we could work together on our lessons once her kids were in bed or playing on the playground. This created an opportunity for us to not only bond as TC3 community members, but also as fellow mothers. One of my English 102 classes got the hang of Zoom very quickly, and its chat function in particular, almost immediately, and made me laugh and laugh with all the jokes and gifs and memes they included in our discussions. On a particularly tough day, I felt the weight of the COVID crisis getting the best of me as I started the meeting. I must have looked as bad as I felt because one of the students piped up and said, "If you keep showing up, Carrie, we will too." Those words were poetry to my ears. December graduates, the effort you exerted, the flexibility you offered, the sacrifices you made, and the compassion you shared, epic, the stuff of heroes' tales. At a time of social distancing, you closed the space between us in the most creative ways. You should be so proud. And I am sure that your family members and friends that supported you all along the way are watching over you right now, hearts bursting with pride. As I reflect on what the future may hold for you, for all of us, I could never lie and say that everything is going to be all right, that these next months don't hold even more challenges. But I do know that poets speak timeless truth, and I will share with you what Dante wrote at the end of his story. After having survived so much together, Dante emerges from the inferno with Virgil by his side and writes, "The guide and I into that hidden road now entered to return to the bright world, and without care of having any rest, we mounted up, he first and I the second, till I beheld through a round aperture some of the beauteous things that heaven doth bear. Thence we came forth to re-behold the stars." My dear students, tomorrow never knows. But I do believe, because of the gifts you exhibited in your time here in the halls of TC3, that you will be the ones that help guide us through the challenging days ahead. It is my hope that together we will emerge to re-behold the stars again. Good luck.
Thank you, Carrie. Our most important constituency is our students. Everything that we do at this college is about student success. And our next speaker is a current student, the president of the Student Government Association, Kyle Patterson.
Hi, my name is Kyle Patterson, and allow me to congratulate you all on graduating during a global pandemic. A certain level of determination and willpower is required to persevere in such a stressful and uncertain time. But none of that matters now. Today is a celebration for you. You are the one who decided to apply here to Tompkins Cortland Community College. You are the one who decided to get up every day and go to class. You are the one who had many late nights studying for exams and doing homework. And you are the one who decided to ensure the sanctity of your future. And this is the culmination of all your efforts. No matter what you decide to do after your time here at Tompkins Cortland Community College, the skills you have obtained from this very rewarding community will truly stand the test of time, and you only have yourselves to thank for that. Once a Panther, always a Panther. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kyle. And that is our list of speakers for this virtual ceremony. In closing, I not only want to wish you congratulations, I also want to put out a request. I want you to be proud of yourself for this accomplishment, but I'd also like you to understand that nobody does this alone. Everyone gets help and support. And some obvious choices might be our faculty and our staff who helped you along the way, But also, please think about your friends and your family or your coworkers or the people who helped you be able to get to this point. And my request is this: please reach out to those people and thank them. Sometimes that goes unsaid, but I think it's better when people say those words out loud and express that gratitude. So please take a few moments to do that. So again, congratulations to our graduates. I hope that you enjoyed our virtual ceremony. For the remainder of this video, we will be displaying the names of our graduates in alphabetical order by first name, so keep a lookout for yours. Congratulations again, and thank you.